Hello, good morning, and welcome to a new video, a semi-new series. We're locking in today, so let's just... Yum, I'm very excited for this. I've been doing some cleanup, been doing some organizing, so I'm very ready and excited to get this video started. I'm actually doing something that I don't normally do and I haven't done in a while. I'm going to buy a pattern, and that is only because I am going for very historical accuracy here, at least with the undergarments. So I am actually going to buy a recreation. Let me pull it up so I know exactly what I'm going to be buying a 1860s gored corset recreation pattern by Red Threaded. It's linked below as always. I'm also going to link my Google Drive that is basically my digital build book for this costume and for my other Elizabeth costumes that are coming, because I am going to use the same undergarments for all of them. It just makes the most sense. I'm gonna buy this and print it out, and we're gonna figure it out, because I've actually never bought a digital pattern like this before. Like, I've used simplicity patterns and stuff like that, but never digital, so I'm excited to see. Okay, so what I'm buying is just the pattern. It looks like you can buy the pattern and like a kit that comes with all of the stuff that you need to make it. I'm just going to use what I have, and honestly I probably will also, I don't know, I need to look at the instructions and how it wants me to make the corset, because I might add like a lining and like stuff like that. Yeah, I have a lot of this stuff. I'm not using coutil, but I believe I do have a white duck cloth in there that I'm gonna use. I usually use just my undyed cotton canvas that I have had a roll of for going on 10 years now. I usually use that as my structure for corsets, but I want to say in one of those bins there's some white canvas instead. So I'm going to be using that, and then I will probably put a fashion fabric over top of it to make it a little prettier, but we're not there yet. So, okay, I'm really glad I printed the instructions first, because I forgot the printer I have prints double-sided. So the instructions are double-sided, which is fine. I also immediately spilled my Red Bull, so that's great. But I did just print the first page of the pattern, and then I apparently set it in something wet. It has like a little like size tester thing, so we're gonna make sure that that is accurate, and it is. Okay, our scale is good. So one of the files is instructions on how to only print one of the sizes of the corset. However, it shows you how to do it with Adobe Acrobat, and I'm not using that. So I'm completing a lot, but I'm really excited to start this process. Like, I just gotta do some more figuring out. I've done a lot of research so far, and I gotta keep doing more. Okay, I have begun deciphering the instructions and the patterns and what's going on. So I've gone in and I've remarked all of the notches that are indicated. Some of them are size specific, so I've just taken all of them and made them look like the notches that I know. And then I also went through, and there's a section in the instructions about edge finishing, and it's kind of confusing. Normally I would just overlock all of the edges, but I do want to follow the instructions kind of to a T, especially on this first one, and this I'm going to make a mock-up because I'm very confused. But I just went in on all of the edges and marked them with a little orange plus so that I know what's what. And I'm gonna continue reading this and then see what happens. We're definitely doing a mock-up though, for sure. I didn't say it, but this pattern does have a busk in the front and I will not be putting in a busk. So that's gonna be fun to figure out. I'm assuming I can just sew the fronts together and kind of ignore any busk steps, but I don't know for sure. So that's also where the mock-up is gonna come in handy. Okay, it took some real reading, but I did figure it out. So I'm gonna cut my fabric for the sample and we're gonna start sewing because I had to order some more supplies that are coming tomorrow. This is fine. Everything is fine. Okay, we're gonna walk through our first steps slowly and carefully. Okay, so when you're doing these have like a kind of straight side and a really rounded side. The straight sides face each other and then you go like this. Ta-da! I feel so accomplished. But I do understand why they have little decorative zigzag stitching right there, because this is just top stitched real close to the edge and that's how they're attached. And because of the way you have to kind of cut the point, you might get some little stragglies. Obviously on our nice one, we're gonna do this differently, but I think I am still gonna do zigzags over top and do some sort of decorative stitching here in this point. But I'm gonna do the other side now. I kind of perfected my technique where I am actually just gonna go in on this with my little thin pins and just kind of fold it over, and I can just finger press this down because I was burning my fingers doing it on the iron and I couldn't see close enough. So this is how I ended up doing the second one and it worked way better than actually pressing, and then I'll go in afterwards and press the final garment. The next step it wants me to do is actually to sew the bone casings on, which are gonna be, but only some of them. So these first 4 and skipping this one and then doing these last 2 diagonals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8. So we're skipping these 5 and 6 ones because 5 and 6, this was where it was kind of messing me up, where I was like not understanding it. So 5 and 6 actually line up. This is your side seam notch on the hip gore, and they're gonna line up here and here. So those are gonna go all the way, but these ones are gonna end. So center, front, middle, bop, bop, back. But because this is just a fitting, I just went ahead and I sewed the side seams, and now it wants me to press the side seams open and then towards the back and top stitch 1/8 of an inch from the edge. So I'm gonna do that. I also, because I'm not doing the busk, I can at some point just sew the center fronts together, and this is a 1/2 inch seam allowance, it seems like, on the front. So I can just sew the center fronts at any time here. We've moved upstairs and I have my dress form here. So now we can do a cute little try on. Train is here. I did change a few things on this. I did just use that 5/8. Actually, it might have been 1/2 inch actually, and I did sew it 5/8. I don't know, I'll have to check the pattern, but I did just sew the center front closed. I top stitched it 3/8 of an inch apart so that we can put boning in there. And then the back piece was kind of awkward, but you basically just sew your different channels for boning, eyelets, boning, gap. And then this is supposed to be 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, and I did a 1/2 inch. I might do the 5/8 and then like turn it under. I honestly don't know. I think I'm actually just going to do a lining for this, for the actual one, and just sew it in the opposite way, and we'll see. And maybe like they'll all just kind of get sandwiched together and the boning will all just go, the boning channels will all just be attached to like the lining one. I don't know for sure, but let me readjust so you can see her better. The lighting's getting a little awkward. It's like coming through the window awkwardly. Yeah, the sun is setting. Okay, we're backing up, we're backing up. Okay, so just like imagine this where it's supposed to be sitting. Okay, imagine that looks normal. So this is just, I assume, a cheap Amazon hoop skirt, but I got it for free, and I was looking at buying the steel to make my own hoop skirt to make it more accurate to the one from the movie, and the steel is expensive. So I'm just gonna cannibalize this one because it was free and I only need the steel. But in the meantime, we can just kind of get a little vision. This is also gonna be kind of a test to see if I like the size of this hoop. I feel like hers is slightly bigger. I feel like these all just need to go up one, and then I need a new full-size one at the bottom. Okay, yeah, this is just 1/4 inch steel. So I did just order 11 yards of more steel boning for corsetry, but I don't see why that won't also work for this. But it is coming, it's coming tomorrow morning, so. As well as the twill tape that we're gonna use for both the corset and for the cannibalism of this hoop skirt. This is just so fun. Welcome back. Not welcome back. Okay, it is now finished. I maybe should have talked about the inside of it before I put it on the dress form. You know, we'll just throw a few clips in here. So obviously my dress form isn't busty enough like I am. And that is a problem I've had before. And I realized when I was putting it on that I was like, you know, this is gonna be perfect. But I did also lace it so that it ties here on the waist, and like scrunching that in was so satisfying. I know it's on a dress form, so I'm sure it's like, it's just compressing all of this, but it was still, I was like, and it was just like sucking right in. I was like, yeah, that's the way that's supposed to work. I cut my string extra long just to be safe, and then I did tie it in the front here. Obviously that's just coming done. I tied it in the front because I think that is so cute. And that way I can keep my strings long. But now it is time to move on to our next undergarment. And that's actually gonna be the crinoline or the hoop skirt. Yeah, I guess we're saving the chemise for last because I still don't know what kind of shape I want. I need to do some more research. But for now, it is time to start taking this all apart. I now need to do some frickin' math. Okay, welcome to my floor. This feels weird. I think I'm just going to start deconstructing this. I'm probably gonna literally just lay it down on the floor like right here as I'm pulling out the hoops so that we can figure out the sizes. And then I'm also gonna try to keep this skirt piece so that we can figure out the lengths of the twill tape that needs to go in. I'm gonna try to get just the, not the diameter. No, yeah, the diameter. I don't actually know what I'm doing, but I was getting claustrophobic with everything kind of trapped back in here. So I think I'm just gonna, honestly, I'm just gonna cut a little waist tape out of this bias tape and pin that over the corset. And then I think I'm just gonna start like running some of this with the twill tape like behind it, or maybe in front of it, like this, and then just kind of pin the hoops at specific like lengths into it. Like our sizes might actually be fine, and I just need maybe like one in the middle to be slightly bigger, or you know. So yeah, I'm just gonna start pinning them and see where we're going from there, I suppose. So enjoy this time lapse. moving on now to the chemise. I'm going to be completely honest. I have been looking at some patterns and I don't really know what I want. So I'm just gonna fly by the seat of my pants and make some stuff up. I want a really basic chemise. I don't want anything that's gonna leave any lines. So we're gonna go super, super, super simple. I think I'm literally just gonna cut out some rectangles that can be gathered with a drawstring and then some little removable straps. Because yeah, okay, party. Okay, welcome back. You're actually sounding too close, that's crazy. So the petticoat, I didn't film a lot of it because I am out of SD cards that have space on them. So basically all I did was I took the black piece that was the hoop skirt before and I just cut it into fourths. And then I cut one of those fourths into thirds. So this top third and then this bottom third, and then there was supposed to be an even more bottom, but I actually ran out of this fabric. So I was like, you know what, I have this white chiffon laying around. Let me use some of that. And so I cut it to the length of the bottom 2/3, but I realized that that basically only went to like the bottom hoop, if that makes sense. And this is slightly shorter than I am, so it won't hit right here on me. But what I'm going to do now is take more of this chiffon, and I started ripping it up already, but I don't know where I put it. And I'm going to do probably like a layer like here and then a layer like here so that this is more flat. And then I have some tulle that I'm going to attach to the bottom of this inner layer so that it'll hopefully just kind of like stop this from happening. Can you see this? Where it's like falling inside the hoops. Yeah, so I'm probably just gonna attach a bunch of the chiffon and that little bit of tulle to some spots just so that we have some better laying, if that makes sense. I really wanted to do one long white chiffon layer, but I don't think I have that much chiffon. So instead, I've actually started on the other skirt, but I did make this light blue skirt to go over top of it. And that does hide a lot of this. I do just want like a little bit more layering right here. So I'm actually just gonna rip the chiffon into strips and do some ruffles along the different areas. I've been saving all of the thread that I'm pulling out of things to do just hand sewn ruffles. So, and also for the cartridge pleating later, but that is where we're at currently. So it's a lot of just little simple finishing touches here and there. And then the underwear is done and we can move on with the rest of our day. And just like that, our undergarments are all done. I'm gonna be honest, none of the edges on the petticoat have hems. They are all overlocked, all the seams are overlocked, and then all of the connector spots are all top stitched flat. I'm also not entirely happy with the most bottomist layer. I think I need another one that's this length where the tulle is, because I had one extra row of tulle from the scraps that I had before, and I ended up actually putting it under here. And I really like that little extra bit that we got right there. And I don't know why, but the hem is all very uneven. So this is not a pattern I will be duplicating because there are some spots where it does not cover the bottom hoop. I am also just feeling like it needs to sit, the hoop needs to sit higher a little bit and the petticoat needs to just sit a little bit lower. But you know, I also don't know. So I think I am just gonna do one more of these little drippy chiffon pieces and connect it here over this tool because the tool is pissing me off. The tool just needs ironed. Honestly, it needs ironed. It's very staticky. But that is it for today. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you when we start on the rest of the skirt. Bye. Bye-bye.